California is all about celebrities and sunshine, but we are here to talk about non-fungible tokens. This is NFT and Coffee, live from LA. Welcome to your new favorite multi-platform talk show, where we will get to know the non-fungible humans that are shaping the NFT community. We'll be getting personal with your favorite artists, community leaders, and changemakers that are building Web3. This is NFT and Coffee. Welcome to NFT and Coffee. My name is Rachel Wilkins. We are here live at NFT LA, and I am delighted to be sitting down with Ashira Fox. Ashira, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
It's so nice to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
So I just wanted to really get a little information about how you kind of ventured into this NFT space, both as an artist and as a creative strategist. So tell us a little bit about your experience.
Gosh, it's been a wild year. I was fortunate enough to get onto Clubhouse at the beginning of 2021, and Clubhouse at that time, I found an incredible community of artists and really connected with a lot of people, and I noticed these NFT rooms. And so I started going into those rooms and listening and started to learn. And the more I heard and learned about NFTs, the more I realized that this could be like a real way for me to move my own artwork forward, especially as a stay-at-home mom with a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. My studio's in my house now. I don't have an outside my house studio at this point. And so it became a way for me to really be able to do my work and experiment in ways that I had not even thought about yet, as I tried to figure out how I was going to move my mixed media, like sewn paper artwork, into the digital space. So I started getting into NFTs more and more and found like incredible community and amazing friends. And we all were really learning together about this space. At some point I got interested in collectibles, and I started looking more into those, and I ended up like serendipitously helping a collection called Roboto's launch.
Of course, with Pablo Stanley.
Yes, yep. Pablo Stanley. So I met him. I didn't know who he was.
Okay.
Had no idea. Even after I don't think I Googled him until after we launched.
Okay.
I just was like, oh, this guy is really awesome. Like, he just has such an amazing energy and like aura. And so, I knew that he was new to NFTs, and I had not a ton of experience, but more experience than him. And I really didn't want anything bad to happen with his collection. Like I was feeling very protective. I don't know if it's like the mama in me or like whatever it is. I was like, I don't want anybody to hurt this guy, So I just started helping him, and I ended up like really consulting with him on the project, and I modded the Discord through the launch, which was very intense. I ended up joining the Roboto's team. I lasted a few weeks at that point. I did not have my my very serious boundaries up yet, because the space like really pushes boundaries. Yep. So I found myself getting like really burnt out. So I pulled back a little bit and kind of got my grounding again. And then I was asked to join the Toy Boogers team. Wow. And so I helped launch Toy Boogers. And I guess I kind of cut my teeth on Roboto's. I learned so much. I was able to build like an incredible mod team. A lot of the mods are not, so they still have, I think, every single mod that I added to the team. Some of the mods for Roboto's have gone on to be like full salary team members. Wow. Like, it's amazing. The community is amazing. So yeah, I mean, I just, I don't know how I got here, except that I just wanted to keep learning and keep growing and keep understanding more of this like amazing space. Yep. And it's like really rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole.
It sure is.
It's amazing. And so, I've had these incredible opportunities to, like, I'm a community builder wherever I am. I used to be a bike messenger in New York. And so like that was an amazing community. Like I've had all these little pockets of community in my life. So this was pretty natural for me, and I think it was a pretty natural fit for me to come into the space like as a community person, like building community. I'm not a community manager. I don't do that sort of work, but I do build like more of like the base structure of the community, and just really consult with the projects that I'm working on like how to form that community and how to like kind of put those pieces together.
It's incredible.
It's been incredible, and I've been really fortunate with my with the what am I trying to say here? With the experiences that I've been able to have, and the people that I've been able to meet. Like I got to hug Keith from Time Magazine today. Like It's just so sweet.
It's one of the things that really has blown my mind, and I heard a lot of talk about it, but to actually really experience it in person is that aspect of like accessibility to these people who are really major players not just in the NFT space,
but like in life, like in the world.
I mean, you're talking about the president of Time Magazine, which is just, I mean, it's crazy.
I told my parents, I'm like, Mom, I'm kind of buddies with the president of Time Magazine. Like,
did you say I'm kind of a big deal, Mom?
No,
like, Google me, Mom.
No, I told her, I was like, it's kind of like I'm on the cover of Time.
Maybe soon.
I mean, for my mom, it's basically like I'm on the cover of Time, right? Like, no, but it's I mean, the accessibility, and to like we're all people, and we're all learning together, and we all have so much to learn from each other.
Absolutely.
Especially because it's such a new space, and there's so much room for experimentation, and just like the ability to just play. And
how is that as a creative? Because you're somebody who you're a multidisciplinary artist, and we can talk for days about the technology that we have at our fingertips that allows us to reach more people, make more impact. But what about from a creative perspective? What has it changed for you? What's shifted? What have you perhaps become more curious about?
Okay, for one thing, I will say this again, as a mom of a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old who is shuttling kids back and forth from school, who is making lunches, dealing with the day-to-day every day. Like, I can do all of my work. I can do 98% of my work on my phone. I can be like in amazing spaces in my earpiece and still have my hands free to like give hugs and open up the bubbles and like do all this stuff. So for people like me, for other artists who are moms, like I was able to onboard a few of my artist mom friends to the space, and that to me is like such an incredible honor, because it's to be able to, the community that I found and the voice that I found in this space is not one that I would have found otherwise, I don't think. And as a creative, it's really leveled up my ability, it's leveled up the ways that I create. So the things that I'm doing now, certainly I could have done them without NFTs, but I wouldn't have been thinking the same way. So like normally with my artwork, with my physical artwork, I dye and paint paper, and then I use my sewing machine to like make drawings and collages. And so I was using resin and pouring resin over those to create these like resin paintings with my paper pieces, and they're beautiful and I love them. But again, like being at home, that's toxic materials, and I can't do that in my house with little kids.
Let alone for your kids, but for you as well.
Well, for me, I can have the mask, I can, do that. But for the kids, if it's in the house, it's just not okay. So what I was able to find, and I kept thinking, like, how am I going to do my work in a way that is like safe and conducive to my life right now as a mom? And so with NFTs, I was able to, I got myself a scanner because I was like, okay, cool, I can scan my sewn drawings and like put those as NFTs. But then I was able to like push, and I'm actually like creating the work on the scanner itself.
Wow.
So I've been making these like little tiny stone pieces and then laying them like face down on the scanner in like little bits with like little threads and all that, and little tiny other pieces of paper, and kind of like freehand collaging face down on the scanner. And then I'll scan it, and then like something won't look exactly right, so I'll like have to move, scan again, move, scan again. So I go through like, probably 100 scans until it's finally like right the way I want it. And then it's like I've made this piece, with none of the toxicity in my house, with my kids running around in this way that is just so conducive to my life, to the world of NFTs, to this Web3 space. It's been such a blessing. I'm not a religious person, but it's been such a blessing.
Would you say that the level of satisfaction on
my gosh,
the completion of a digital piece varies from that of the completion of a IRL, quote unquote?
That's actually interesting. I think the difference there is when I make a physical piece, like I can take a photo of it, but it's not the same. Right. When I'm making the work on the scanner for the NFT, so the piece only lives as an NFT, like that's the original, because all the pieces on the scanner are loose. So the minute I move them off the scanner, the piece is gone. So it only lives digitally. So to be able to have that, and then like the immediacy of sharing it, the immediacy of just being able to like, to mint it and put it out there in the world, as opposed to like, worrying about photographing it and is it going to get, I use my color shifts are really what's the word I'm looking for? They're very subtle. Okay. And so I was finding, and I am a color freak. Like I am such a color freak. I'm obsessed with color and texture and all that. So it's also like interesting to see that as NFTs too,
Right.
But it comes across because I'm using like a really high powered scanner. So it's been to just have like that immediacy. And then again, with my lifestyle, to not have to, sell the piece and then go to pack it up, ship it. Like for a lot of people, that's not a big deal. But for me, again, as a mom with 2 little kids, it's a big deal, especially during a pandemic. Yeah. Like the last 2 years has been very wild. Right. So it has opened up an entire universe of possibilities that I just didn't even know existed a little over a year ago.
Amazing.
I'm speechless, honestly, like with where I'm at, considering where, like in the span of like 14 months,
right? So we're here at the conference.
Yeah.
You just literally came off the stage. You were a speaker at this humongous conference. We talk about community a lot in this space.
Yeah.
And accessibility, and the role that Clubhouse and the role that Twitter Spaces now as well have played in the development of these relationships, which have ultimately led to some of these opportunities. Like, how are you, for somebody who's perhaps new to the space, coming into NFTs, is a little on the more introverted side, can you give some tips that perhaps would help them to navigate this totally new landscape?
Yeah. So first of all, I would say definitely, I know that Twitter can be overwhelming, but it's a really important space. It's a really important platform for this space. And it can seem like it's just shills all day long, but if you start to follow the right people in the space, then you can kind of cut through that noise and begin to see like who has like, like value in the space, or who do you want to follow that can help you grow what you need to like further whatever you're doing here. In all honesty, I really like the structure of Clubhouse better than Twitter, because I feel like it, in terms of spaces and stages, I feel like Twitter's kind of more set up for like podcasts or like interviews, and like and Clubhouse is, like you can have like 100 people on stage and it doesn't matter.
It's open. It's accessible.
It's open. It's right. Yeah. So I do feel like it might be a little bit harder for introverts to kind of get that nerve up. But there's so many spaces that are for people who are new, who just want to get their feet wet, getting up on stage and saying hi. Like I would say for newcomers, especially if you're introverted, like try to say hi. Like just take those steps and say hello. You're welcome to reach out to me anytime. Like, hit me up on Twitter, say hi. Yeah, hit me up on Twitter. Like I'll say hi to you. And I'll probably send you a couple people to follow, Yep. So it can be hard for people who are a little bit more introverted, but again, there's so much room here, and there's a lot of people who are introverted.
A lot.
You know, a lot of people, and some people have been able to kind of, you know, cut through that for themselves, but other people are a lot quieter and they do their work and, you know, they put it out. And the thing with Twitter is you can kind of be like as vocal or as quiet as you want to be. Like, you don't have to get on stage, you can just listen.
Right.
You can just listen in the room, you know, and there's ways to connect with people that are not necessarily by voice. Like, you can just hit people up and DM
in the DMs,
and,
yeah.
you know.
That's how we connected.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this is a prime example. Everybody that we're interviewing on this show came from a DM. It's not, you know, in-person conversation, so it's something to definitely bear in mind.
Yeah.
You know, we talk a lot about the lack of women that are inside of the Web3 space right now. How do we work towards being more inclusive, removing those barriers to entry, and just really trying to onboard and welcome more women into this space?
Okay, so first of all, I think that I think that it's easy to say like, oh, there's no women here, but the reality is like there are women here, and there are women here who are like head and shoulders above like any guy in this, you know, like, I mean,
I've seen it.
Right, like Latasha. Oh my God, she's an incredible musician. I think she's the first person to put a music video on the blockchain.
Wow.
You know, like, she's amazing. And so I think that part of bringing more women into the space is giving us more visibility. And that doesn't mean like these, you know, these like engagement farm tweets that are like, oh, show like women artists, put, you know, like show me blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, dude, buy our work, hire us, you know, like don't put up these, you know, these tweet threads that are like, there's no women here. Like, if you think there's no, find us and give us, like, elevate us, give us opportunities, because the women are here, you know? So, and I think the more that we are visible, the more other women will come on. Absolutely. And I can tell you, like, you know, I've been sort of checking the pulse on Facebook in terms of NFTs for like the last year. And at first it was like nobody would comment, you know. Then it was kind of like, oh, like NFTs are a scam, you know, kind of thing. I'm like, okay, you know. And then it was like, oh, NFTs are like, this is interesting. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're doing some cool stuff, you know. And then it's like, oh, can you tell me about NFTs? And so then I was like, look, you know, like I have a bunch of artist mom friends. I will do a Zoom and help onboard. Good for you. You know, so like we can all do that. I think it's like that thing of like each one teach one, you know, kind of thing. Where, you know, we're the messengers of the blockchain. I mean, kind of like it's, you know, it really is that thing of like it's like, I think the more we're visible, the more people see what we do, the more there will be opportunities and the more people will be like, oh, I can do that too. And that's actually like that's one of the most important things to me, is to just, like, I feel like if I am just who I am, then other people can be who they are. Then it can give permission to other people to be who they are. So I hope that I can like lead by example, because I didn't even know what an NFT was 14 months ago. Right. Like I literally didn't know what an NFT was, you know? So, wrong answers only, what is an NFT? Wrong answers only. What are you excited about? Oh my gosh. That you can share with us. That's not like top secret information. Yeah. Okay. So a little bit about that off camera. Yeah. I'm really excited about the new artwork that I'm making. I'm about to release another like tiny little collection of 3 pieces, little editions on known origin. I'm really excited about Kit Bash Boogers. It's my Kit Bash Boogers nails. We gotta get a close up of these nails. They're amazing. I don't know if you can get a close up. We could do it after. Okay. I'm such a dork. They're amazing. So the collection that I work for, Toy Boogers, or one of the collections that I work for, Toy Boogers, is doing a collaboration with Dead Fellas and Cool Cats and Robotos. It's a very tiny collection. It's only like 1,111 pieces. We're going to be releasing that the end of April. Nice. Another thing in the collectible world that I'm extremely excited about is a project called Mad Jelly, which I'm also on the team for. That's a project by Duchess Betsy, and it's like, do you know what a Mad Jelly is? No, okay. No idea. Mad Jellies bloop into existence whenever somebody tells you that you can't do the thing. It can't possibly work out. Mad Jelly. Yep. It can't possibly work out. you can't do that thing. So Mad Jelly bloops into existence, and then you have to work and figure out how to tame it. Because they're angry, you know, like we carry around these things like you can, even as kids, you know, like where we're like, you know, somebody told you can't play the kazoo, you know, like, oh, I can't play the kazoo, you know, and then this Mad Jelly is like, you can't play the kazoo, how, you know, and so it's like, but Mad Jelly, like, are you sure? Like, can I show you how to play the kazoo? You know, and it's just doing the thing, and that's how we can try and tame these. So I know I just went off on Mad Jelly. I just love it so much. Sorry, I keep hitting the mic. I'm like,
baseline.
Yeah, boom. Sorry, I just did it again. Oh my God. So yeah, I'm extremely excited about Mad Jelly. Amazing. We're gonna launch that in a few weeks.
Okay.
There's another project I'm working on also.
When do you sleep? When do you, like, seriously, kids,
I know.
mom, artwork, projects, where's rest in your, because let's not,
I know,
we have to touch on the mental health aspect of this,
because it's a big,
burnout is a real deal.
Yeah, really,
do you get time to, like, kind of bring it down?
So one thing that I did do for myself, and I'm very vocal about this, and I hope it's okay for your show. So I saw a psychiatrist recently because my anxiety has been through the roof with the pandemic, and my ADHD is out of control. I got diagnosed as an adult, and I never really did anything about it. And so, you know, like I am now, like I'm on, like the medication, like that, I'm taking a couple medications, and they are life-changing for me. They've been life-changing. So that's like a huge part of mental health, I think, is just, and I'm not saying everybody should be on medication, but you know, like, I mean, no, like some, you know, some people are not into it, like, but find the things that are gonna help you feel the way you wanna feel. And I do sleep. Okay. It's sometimes hard, you know? And I get to say, you know, I love my kids are around all the time. I get to, because of the work that I do, I see them all that, you know, I snuggle with them in the mornings, and I send them off, you know, I take them to school and pick them up and do homework, and I just, you know, I'm kind of doing everything in tandem, or like kind of fitting things in all around. And I, you know, I work on a lot of things, but not everything is super busy at the same time. You know, I think that I work on a lot of the projects and the community stuff because it's hard for me to find like super blocks of time to do my artwork right now. So that's been a little bit slower for me. It's a little fly. It's been a little bit slower for me than like some of the other stuff. But yeah, I mean, I've really, you know, look, I've learned to say no. Like there have been, like I've had friends that are like, but I really want you on this project. And I'm like, I really appreciate that, but I'm not taking on any more work until at least July.
There's like, only so much of Julie.
There's only so much of Ashira, and like
Julie? Why did I just call you Julie?
I don't know.
Where the hell is my brain?
No worries. Listen, have you slept recently?
Apparently not. There's only so much Ashira.
There's only so much Ashira. Yeah. So, you know, and I also realized that I will tell you two things. Number one, if I can't say no, then I'm not doing right by anybody else that I'm working for, or my family, or myself.
Somebody suffers.
I suffer, and everybody else does too. And I can't do the work that I'm already responsible for. And, you know, it's hard to turn down opportunities. It's really hard to turn down opportunities. And I'm getting, like, I'm so grateful and thankful, and it's been amazing, and I'm getting a lot of opportunities. And I don't know where I read it or who said it, but recently I heard somebody say that when they say no to something, they're not giving up opportunities, they're passing along jobs.
Wow, I love that.
Right?
That's
and it
amazing.
Just reframes everything, and it's like, I will pass, like, you know, if I can't do it, maybe I know somebody who will, who could. Exactly. And I'm so happy to pass along jobs, you know, so that really, really reframed it for me, but it was hard. I had to, after, you know, when I got burned out, it really took me like 2 months to feel like myself again, you know, and that was a real wake-up call. It was a real wake-up call, and I was like, I am never going there again. I'm just not doing it.
No, it's not what we're not we're non-fungible.
Right.
We got to take care of ourselves.
Exactly. We are non-fungible people.
Exactly. Yeah. So this has been amazing.
Thank you so much.
I would love for you to just, to the camera, give any creators out there your kind of top tips for entering the space,
Okay.
or just a little takeaway that
Yeah.
they can perhaps take some action on.
Top tips. Keep learning. Do not listen to anybody who says you can't do it. Everything is an experiment at this stage. You can do the thing. Find your people. They are out there, I promise. Even if you don't think that they are out there. What else can I say? Just keep growing. Like keep being curious, because this space is just, again, it's like rabbit hole after rabbit hole, and there's so much to learn. Oh, you are never gonna learn it all, so don't stress it. You are never gonna keep up with everything in the space, so don't stress it. It's okay to just say I'm gonna deal with that whole side of things later. I've done that with multiple areas, so that would be my top tips.
Amazing. Well, Ashira, thank you.
Thank you.
This has been NFT and Coffee, and thank you so much for tuning in.